you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve you, Lord. We will serve you, Lord. Yeah. Oh, we will not bow to the gods of man. We will not bow to the gods of man. We'll worship the God of Israel. Say we will not bow to the gods of man. We will not bow to the gods of man. We'll worship the God of Israel. For you are holy, holy. There is no one else like you. You are holy, holy. There is no one else like you are holy. You are holy, holy. There's no one else like you.
Yeah, welcome everyone to Midweek Manna. Here we are again on a Wednesday night, and I am so happy to be with you here tonight. We have a good lineup tonight, and including our special speaker, Brother James Kramer, and we have Brother Giacomo for our Health Minute. We don't have the Watchman this week because I wanted to give Brother Kramer extra time for his America's Foundation series, which he's been working very diligently on. And so we've got a couple of songs tonight. And so I want to welcome you here and thank you everyone for taking time out of your day to be a part of this special program. And so today our scripture is found in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 15. Carrying on here says, but even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to Yahweh, the veil shall be taken away. Now Yahweh is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of Yahweh is, there is liberty. But we all with open face beholding, as in a glass, the glory of Yahweh, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of Yahweh. And so, though we look through a glass darkly, soon we shall see him face to face. There's another scripture that says that. But where the Spirit of Yahweh is, there is liberty. And when his word is preached, when we have freedom to pray, when brothers and sisters come together in unity of the Spirit, there is indeed liberty. So with all of that, let's open the service with prayer and we will get started. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for every soul that's here and for every soul that's out there that might be viewing this service. Father, we ask that you would bless the speakers tonight. May your Ruach HaKodesh be upon them. Give them the words to speak. Help them to minister in the way you would have them to. And Father, I pray that you would bless the hearts of everyone who's out there that's listening to the service. Father, I ask that you would just glorify your name. And we ask this now in Yeshua's name. Amen. Okay, so this time we're going to start with Brother Giacomo. Brother Giacomo's been on before. He has had a lot of experience in the area of natural health. And so he's going to give us a 10-minute talk tonight. And, it's interesting. He has stopped eating meat, particularly partly because he didn't want to have the contamination. There's a lot of contamination, even in the what you might presume to be clean food in the grocery store. And so that's part of his desire to be faithful to the Father. And so essentially, we are going to bring him on tonight, and hopefully he'll be able to give us some good ideas about and some of his experience, perhaps. All right, so Brother Giacomo, we've got you on there, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, I was never muted. Fantastic. Well, shalom aleichem, everyone. I found out something very interesting today. Cayenne pepper is good for running. All you got to do is put a little bit in your eyes, and you're running for the bathroom to wash your eyes out. Thank you. I'm here all day. Anyway, as I said, I am vegan. I may not be the most perfect vegan on earth, but I stopped. Thank you, Vicky. Yeah, somebody laughed at least. But I stopped eating meat roughly, it's going on like 8 years ago, literally, while living in the land of barbecue and big steaks, Texas, of all places. I don't give that part of the story as short as possible. Living in Los Angeles for 20 years, you can hit a rock and hit about 10 vegans. It's just everywhere. It's like a cult, unfortunately. Was never interested, like most meat-eating Americans. Made fun of me, some vegans. But when I went to Texas to get out of LA and the stink and the funk of LA, literally and figuratively, I found my first Messianic congregation there, Beit Yeshua, who's run by Ed Harris, who's actually kind of high up in the chain of Messianic teachers and such. And by the by, I started learning more and more about not just clean and unclean, which we know is tahor and tamim, but the concept of ohel and lo ohel. Ohel meaning food, lo ohel meaning not food. The lo prefix, of course, meaning not or not is. And as I started getting around and, having some nice, yummy cheeseburgers around there. So, you've got Whataburger, the big chain out there. And of course, In-N-Out would start to creep its way into North Dallas. We, in my former congregation online, we started doing the Daniel fast, which is, 3 weeks of no meat, no bread, no sweets, no alcohol. 1 year while doing it in Dallas, I put on 11 pounds of straight muscle, just like eating vegetables and working out. I'm like, well, it's kind of the following year. I came off down the fast, and a friend of mine, very much even in the walk herself, made some chicken wings for me. And I bit into them, and it felt really weird. I said, the chicken wings, they're really good chicken wings, nice and spicy and, well meated and everything else. I kept eating the one, and just my body said, that's it. We don't do this anymore. And me being, a smart aleck, I figured, okay, well, I'll just go pescatarian or whatever else. Not really realizing that Yahweh Elohim was leading me into a new lifestyle. I had no idea who was going to do it. So when I ate my first fillet of fish, which that'll turn anybody vegan, let me tell you, and I saw what it was I was eating, it's almost like Yahweh was saying, you've come this far, but you've not gone as far as I want you to. Choked down that fillet of fish and did not touch a bite of meat again for 80 years. Now, and I did that, like I said in my blurb right there. There's a thriving Jewish community in North Texas, all around the Irving area, Addison, parts of North Dallas, and the little cities in there. But even that community was suffering a dearth of kosher butchers. In fact, a lot of men that did butchering at all are getting out of the business because it's cheaper to go through, your local supermarket and get your favorite meats and such. More so, if you are glad kosher, you've really got to have a kosher butcher, knowing how the animal was raised, how it was sacrificed, how it was kept, and everything else that you would associate with a kosher butcher. And so there might have been one person nearby that even did that kind of work, The unfortunate thing was that's a 35, 40-minute drive just to go get something and, and go run a corner to Walmart and get some meat. I don't know. And so that plus, of course, the obvious, if you go someplace that commingles, if their surface has, oh hell, or a clean animal on it, and right around the corner from it is some bacon or some diced ham, whatever else, you might think you're not eating the unclean. I can almost guarantee you, if it's a nice flat griddle surface, you're going to get commingling. A friend of mine used to make fun of me, like, Giacomo, we've got some pizza. Well, you got, pepperoni and sausage and bacon on it. I'll just pick it off. Like, no, the meat of the pork is still in the cheese, and so is the grease. And I'll be eating it, de facto eating it, but I'll still be eating it. So this actually has been a pretty long journey from the time of living in LA to being here where I am right now in South Carolina. And in all honesty, I've noticed, I'm 53, I'll be 54 in a couple of weeks. I've got as much energy as a 30-year-old who's been drinking too much. I can do an hour-long workout in the gym without any problems whatsoever. Got some knee problems and such, but the amount of energy I'm able to generate because I don't have this animal nonsense weighing my body down, not to mention the near guarantee that what I am eating is oh hell and not low oh hell. You can see the blurb I put up there right here. The last time I had my blood work done, it's off the chart, darn near perfect. I mean, a little bit of a high blood pressure issue. A lot of vegans struggle with adding too much salt to their food. That is an issue I'll be able to conquer very soon, but I'm going raw vegan at some point, which is nothing cooked whatsoever. You see the alternatives there. A lot of companies that are coming out right now addressing this new vegan craze and such. Beyond Meat, Impossible Foods, Good Earth, one of my favorites. Morningstar is very accessible. Gardein and Amy's Foods, if you look hard enough, you can find them all at Walmart at competitive prices. Even when it comes to saving some money, a can of chickpeas, which used to be, before the little crisis we're going through right now, 50, 60 cents a can, is still 78 cents a can. That's a full day's protein. It's only about maybe 300 calories, and you'll be pretty full from the fiber of having an entire can of chickpeas. And one of my favorites as well, is I can only find it out here, unfortunately, is black lentils from India. And you'll see it there as well. A quarter cup serving of black lentils, about yay big right there, is 40 grams of protein. Now, that's going to fill you up. It's going to give you plenty of fiber and lots of energy to go through the day. I like to joke, use kind of a diet. Watch you don't make any special plans, because fiber is going to fill you up and it's going to go right through you. Nevertheless, the human body is not designed to hold on to all that nonsense. I don't believe that Yahweh would want us all plugged up and feeling bloated and nasty all day. So this SAD, or the SAD American diet, or standard American diet, is bringing a lot of unnecessary obesity and chronic illness to this country. Obviously, a lot of people, if you're interested in trying it, my brother Jerry might be on here as well. I'm kind of moving him in that direction, but at the very least, start slowly. When we did our Daniel fast, it was very rapid. It was, okay, here it comes, 3, 2, 1, nothing. And the first time I tried it, I got massive headaches. I was irritable. I was mad at everything. I'm like, God, I'm going to die. Like, you'll be okay. Your body's going into shock because you went from A to B versus, okay, A1, A2, A3 and such. And certainly drinking a lot of water is going to be a big, big help. If you do decide to go this route, and my time's about to run out here, you're going to feel amazing once you start going, okay, I don't have what I used to have. My body will now make full use out of whatever it is that I'm eating. A lot of sources that I do watch, one of my favorites is actually the flip side there, a cheap, lazy vegan who, she's about 30. She was a college student when I first met her on YouTube. She's able to make these amazing meals for $2 or $3 a serving, completely plant-based, very little or zero, backyard there, very little or zero gluten. Everything's extremely healthy she makes as well. Fully Raw Christina is one of my favorites as well. She eats nothing but raw foods. She's about 40 years old and she looks like she's 19. So it definitely works. And lastly, one of our brothers, Paul Nielsen, I believe his name is, I met him at Elijah Clark's Sukkot a couple of years ago, and the man is in his 60s, and incredible shape. So any questions, by all means, let a brother know. Hope you enjoy the presentation.
Hey, thank you, brother, very much. What about the dangers? You know, it's becoming more dangerous to even get some food from the grocery store, and most importantly, the meat, our meat supply. What about the dangers of mRNA in the meat supply? Have you got any information on that?
Not much as I need to. Not eating meat at all. I was already aware of, I think it's RBNA, the hormones that they were putting into cows make them grow faster. And I'm also keenly aware that a lot of the chicken that we eat, or people eat, it goes from the chick to a meat chicken in a few weeks. And I said, that's not natural. And you see a lot of these young ladies that are menstruating at age 8 or 9 and they fully developed bodies by the time they're 10. Like, wait, that didn't happen 30 years ago. What's going on? When you pump these poor children full of food with all kinds of hormones and such, they're going to grow. I've never seen so many of these young people that are, darn near 300 pounds, and they're not even 12 or 13 years old. Like, what's going on? Sad American diet combined with meat with hormones in it. And I would say, if you can, and it's not that hard to do any longer, grow your own. You can literally grow your entire food supply in your backyard or in the basement or corner of the house. A little tricky to do if you live in a smaller place, but if you've got some room, take advantage of it and make your own food.
Do we have any other questions for Brother Giacomo? There's a lot of information here that he has provided on his PowerPoint slide here. I was looking down through a lot of this stuff. Notice the B12, interesting there. And so it sounds to me like people probably need to supplement too, along with it. Of course, I supplement anyway. But does anybody else have any questions for Brother Giacomo? We got a comment here from Vicky. That's from soy too. Endocrine disruptor. Interesting thought there.
Very true. There's a way to make tofu, so to speak, out of hemp and mung beans, as opposed to using soy. Now, I've not had a problem with that so far. Baruch Hashem, of course. But if I started to feel like a little bit less of a man, I too take testosterone supplements to make sure, and I'm getting up in age after all. I will most definitely switch away from tofu.
Okay, testosterone supplements. Okay, that's a good idea there. We got a comment here. Looks like Vicky said that she saw a video about some are saying that this mRNA is being put into the meat supply. So even people who are eating meat need to beware because we know that that's a genetic altering thing. It's a very dangerous thing that they are putting in, and especially in pork. Vicky, go ahead. You've got your hand up, sister.
I just wanted to comment about what he said about girls menstruating earlier than they used to, and that is true. We've grown up, at least our general age range, so many that we know grew up lactose intolerant. And, that's a whole nother thing there as to why that's happening. But so they put everybody on the soy milk, the babies and everything from birth on up, if you can't digest the milk, and they put them on soy. And soy is an endocrine disruptor. And same with like nail polish for girls, affects their hormones and stuff, that little girls, all little girls like their little nails painted and stuff like that. But 98% of soy is genetically modified, and it's in everything. I mean, literally everything, because it's a subsidized crop. And, I have an awful time. I finally found some vegan mayonnaise that doesn't have soy in it, because all mayonnaise has soy, and just everything has soy in it. Tuna, even a can of tuna on some of the cheaper brands have soy in them. It's just everywhere. It's ubiquitous. And so that does affect our endocrine system. And that includes, you know, not just girls, but also boys too. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to comment on that. But I'm sure Giacomo probably knew all that anyway.
Oh, indeed, you're right. I've seen a lot of young boys just before puberty, especially here in South Carolina, the worst cases of gynecomastia I've ever seen. Again, I'm in my 50s now, like, why does this little 10-year-old boy have breasts? And then, of course, the worst thing, of course, is you see the entire family's got an eating disorder, you know, way too much, and a sedentary lifestyle is contributing to it, I'm sure, because it's in bread, most definitely. I don't eat a lot of bread as it is. I'm switching over to more plant-based breads completely, as in not soy flour, but oat flour, chickpea flour, lentil flour as well. A little grainy, of course, but whatever I can do to eliminate these things from my diet. Another rabbi trail here. I'm part Italian, and I've been eating pizza and bread and pasta since I had teeth. Suddenly, in the last 20 years, if I go anywhere near gluten, I explode. So the greater situation there, of course, is they're putting something in everything to cheapen it and possibly to control us as well.
Yeah, I think
well,
you
maybe
something.
Talk about that, Giacomo, about the bread and why that happens. It's not just the gluten, but you know, I think that we should talk about that sometime. It's really interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think you hit on something there earlier. That was the danger of these children that have this condition due to this, and perhaps any other resulting health problems down the road. So anyway, we thank you, brother, for coming on again and sharing this. Everyone, take a look at these notes. Look at these alternatives. We've got all of these alternatives down here if you're interested in the vegan lifestyle and all of the health benefits that it provides. Notice this advice he's got down here. Start slowly, 1 to 3 meatless meals per week. Cheese is not a food, but a garnish. Use nutritional yeast to replace fit flavor. And look and double check the sources down there. There's a bunch of sources here, Instagram and YouTube, and including most notably Paul Neeson and the Hebrew Roots. So this is really good information, and we hope to have you back on again, brother.
Absolutely, of course.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to have our musical special, and then we will welcome Brother James Kramer for the service portion.
Well, I've been wandering this desert, finding only danger, never knowing where I'm gonna go. Feeling lonely as I wander, but I was seeking answers when I felt your spirit touch my soul. Well, I'd never know surrender, but I laid down my heart's desires and I let go of my control. My flesh is telling me to run away, to turn back from this place, but you're all I wanna know. It's only you that shines the morning sun. It's only you that gives us our instruction. Yeah, it's only you that shows me who I am. Everything seems to go wrong. It's only you that helps me in the night, guiding me along. Oh, oh, oh. It's only you guiding me along. Oh, oh, oh. Well, I want to know more of you, so come now and reveal the truth. I want to walk the narrow road to to the living word you lead me, and you satisfy completely. You show me things that I never know. Keeping Sabbath and being clean, like Yahuwah, I just wanna be holy. Writing Torah down within my soul. Yeshua walked the path perfectly, and I will follow in his lead, for he may stop my heart as stone. It's only in the shines the morning sun. It's only in the gives us our instruction. Yeah. It's only in the shows me who I am when everything seems to go wrong. It's only you that helps me in the night, guiding me along. Oh, it's only you guiding me along. Oh, Yahweh, you show me what it means to be holy, making your ways my ways, following the righteous path. How could I turn aside to the left or the right when you've shown your favor to the broken, weary sinners? We all don't deserve the love that the Father has given us, but yet he has delivered you and me from the power of the enemy. So don't turn back or look away. We are alone as giving grace, so that you and I can live to see his face. It's only in the shines the morning sun. It's only you that gives us our instruction. Yeah. It's only you that shows me who I am when everything seems to go wrong. It's only you that helps me in the night, guiding me along. Oh, it's only you guiding me along. Oh, it's only you guiding me along. Oh, it's only you guiding me along.
Okay, guiding me along. It's only you guiding me along. Isaiah 58:11 says, and Yahweh will continually guide you and satisfy your desire in scorched places and give strength to your bones. And you will be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. Okay, so tonight we are ready for our message tonight. We have Brother James Yaakov Kramer with us, and he is going to be teaching on America's Foundation. In fact, I think this is a series, and I got a couple pictures here for all of you to see here. One of them is the Declaration of Independence. There is Washington, I believe. Very famous painting, and here are the Pilgrims. Look at that. Looks like Bradstreet there, William Bradstreet, and the Pilgrims. Very interesting history our country has, and Brother James will bring all of this tonight. So I'm going to stop the share here, and let's see if we can get him on. I know he's had some technical problems.
Can you hear me tonight?
Yes, we can, brother. Let me make you co-host if you need to share, okay?
Okay, I will need to share because I'm doing this with a PowerPoint tonight.
Okay, you should have the capability now. You should be able to share screen.
Yeah, it's not coming up. Do you have anything on your screen?
Not yet. Let's see here.
Okay, I've been having so much problem with this. I've had to jump out and jump back in 4 different times tonight.
Oh dear.
And that's why I wasn't even sure if you could hear me. I can't turn on my video, and I can't mute myself. My mic is open. It's been open the whole time.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on here.
Let me hit this prompt here and see if we can get a start video prompt from you. Ask to start video. Let's see if we can get some action here.
Well, I clicked on it, nothing happened.
Okay. Well, we'll keep working with it here a couple of minutes, and we always can roll with the punches, but let's pray and hope that this will work out. If you have to come back in, you can always come back in. I would suggest that you use the actual Zoom app to sign in, and sometimes hitting that link, as I recall, it went through the browser, but if you go to the Zoom program on that laptop, I think it might solve some of your problems. And then you use the Zoom app, then you hit join room, and there should be a list there where it says this room there.
Right. That's where I come through at.
Or if you want to send me the PowerPoint file, I have PowerPoint. I can put it up on the screen, and then you can teach. You could do that too.
Well, I could do it if I knew how.
Okay. That's all right.
I'm not very computer literate.
Okay.
So what I may have to do is just go ahead and go through the PowerPoint without. I've been trying to share it. I've got it on my screen, but it's only a snapshot of it, and it will not open up for some reason.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is
if it comes to the point to where we have to work through some technical things and put this off to next week, that's fine too. We can have an open discussion tonight.
Well, if I minimize this screen and just open up my PowerPoint, I can go through it. I can go through my PowerPoint as it's done. I really had hoped that it would come through for everybody because there's a lot of information there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to, well, it's not responding again, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do.
Okay, well, let's do this, brother. Let's just have an open discussion tonight, and we'll see if we can get some of these technical things, because I think people need to see what's on your PowerPoint. I think that's important, because if you've got like pictures and diagrams, or you have just scriptures on there, I think that would be good. How about we do that, and we'll put it off for next week. Does that sound okay to you?
Yes, I'm really hoping it will come through. I've never had this much problem with it before.
Yeah. Well, you're not the only one that suffered tech problems. The gremlins are out tonight. Yeah, help us. But let's just have a good time of fellowship together and discuss. We can discuss and talk about things. There's always things to talk about in the kingdom. And don't feed them after dark. Gee, I come up with that comment down there. So that's a good one. So basically, we will just open this for just a time of fellowship tonight. How about that? And just we'll go for about 25 minutes or so, and then we'll do our last musical special and so on. Or I might save that last musical special because it really was going along with the Foundation series, but let's just converse. Who has something that they would like to talk about tonight?
Well, I'd like to start off with the prison ministry. I did get a call from Brother Henry yesterday. He has been receiving some literature from some of the people in the Yahad, and he has told me to express his thanks to everyone who listens. He is still, or rather Grady is still working on trying to get the prison officials to be more cooperative and give them more freedom to meet. I as I understand it, this last Sabbath, they were closed out of the chapel once again. Apparently, another group scheduled it on a Shabbat, which I don't know why they would double book that thing, but I have my opinions on it. Let me put it that way. But anyhow, they are doing well. Everything is going very well. He appreciates all the booklets and the books that have been sent to him. In fact, I just sent another one out this Monday, and he should be getting that if probably next Monday or Tuesday, if they don't take too long censoring it. They don't really censor it, but they do go through it line by line to make sure there's no hidden agenda in it. So that's it for me tonight. God bless everyone.
Okay. And remember that for those of you who want to reach out to the prison ministry, reach out to Brother James Kramer. Are you able to text in the text box, brother, and put your email there?
Well, I tried to hit the chat earlier. Did get onto it one time, and then no sooner did I get my message on, and it went back to Zoom meeting not responding, and I still got that on my screen.
Okay, let me get it for everybody here. I can get it. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna put this in the chat for you guys. Reach out to Brother James, and he'll give you the details via email on how to bless some of these believers in the prison that Brother James is ministering to. There it is right there, mipatriot49@proton.me. You can see it in the text message there for you guys. Now, with regard to the prison ministry, did Brother, not Grady, it's the other one, Brother Henry, did he get did he get the first Hebrew primer answer book I sent?
Yes, and they've been, he's been studying with a couple of the newer people. He's been using that primer with them to get them up to understanding the Hebrew and how the Hebrew language works. So he did appreciate that very much. Okay,
very good. All right, so right now I'm going to share something from the book of, we should have it up here. Let's get rid of this. There we go. Now we've got it. This is from the book of Isaiah. You guys should be able to see that okay. This is on the fly here, but I thought of looking down through this chapter. It's not a long chapter, but this chapter has implication for the Atid Lavo, which is the era to come when Messiah comes back. And so most of you know that in the two-house teaching understanding, we understand that there is going to be a second great exodus. And that great exodus is going to make the first one pale by comparison. There are actually scriptures that suggest that not only will there be like a Red Sea crossing like there was in the first Exodus, but there will be where the Yahweh strikes the Egyptian sea and it will split into 7 streams. It talks about how a pillar by how a pillar by the pillar of fire by day and the cloud of smoke by day and the pillar of fire by night led the children of Israel around the wilderness for 40 years. And it says that in some of these prophecies, it seems to indicate that there will be 7 of these pillars leading the people of Yah in a particular time, which I happen to be is not far away. I happen to believe it's not far away from us. They will be leading those who are the remnant to the Kadosh land. Now, there is some dispute as to when this will happen. Is it going to happen during the tribulation? Is it going to happen when Yeshua returns and establishes his reign upon the earth? That I'm not 100% sure on. But if you read these prophecies, it seems to indicate that there is going to be a vast change in the earth. So here is Isaiah chapter 11. It says, And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of its roots. Now, notice that word there, branch. The Hebrew word is netzer, netzer. And basically, let's double check something here. I'm going to open up this other one too, because I want to see this Isaiah 11 in Bible Hub. Let's take a look at that. Okay, Isaiah 11. I can spell Isaiah, right? Okay. All right, let's take a look at this in the Hebrew. And I think this is in here. There it is. Let's see here. Yeah, and a branch. There it is. Vanetzer. Take a look at that. Isn't that something? There it is. Let's get rid of that. Vanetzer. And a branch. Now, have you ever looked at the Nazarenes, the Netzarim? Have you ever heard about them in the first century? That they were part of the family of David, that they were out of favor with both the Herodians and the Romans? That, you remember when blind Bartimaeus, he said to Yeshua, Yeshua, son of David, have mercy on me. Remember that, blind Bartimaeus? He said, Yeshua, son of David, have mercy on me. And remember the reaction of the people who were around him. And so the reaction of the people were, shh, be quiet, don't say that. Why would they say that to him? Because it was completely politically incorrect. It was incorrect to say that. And so because the Nazarene, the line of David, the legitimate line of David, was out of favor. But Yeshua was truly of the line of David in the sense that Mary came from that line. And it says there, and there shall come a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding. Notice this, wisdom, he's got understanding, he's got the spirit of counsel and might, there's 4 of them, the spirit of knowledge and fear, 5, 6. And so there's, let's see here, shall rest upon him. Okay, the spirit of Yahweh, there it is, there's 7. I knew there was 7 there. The spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, that's 1. The spirit of wisdom, 2, and understanding, 3, the spirit of counsel, might, 5, the spirit of knowledge, 6, and the fear of Yahweh. Notice that. And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh, and he shall not judge after the sight of the eyes. Now, isn't that interesting? I was listening to a study, in fact, in Shabbat, I was in a study, says he shall not judge after the sight of the eyes. And there is a teaching out there that suggests that, yes, it's not the eyes and it's not the ears, but it might be the smell. Now, I've got a guy who's going to come on and teach about that for all of us. So that'll be a very interesting, that'll be an interesting discussion for sure. And it says he will neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. So he doesn't do it by the sight of his eyes. He doesn't do it by the hearing of his ears. Well, that leaves one other sense, and that is smell. Now, this all ties into the people who came out of Egypt, and out of their body, they got those unclean things. Remember, even though there were some who complained and they said, oh, I wish we could go back to the flesh pots of Egypt. But they were out there eating manna, and they were purified. They were purified in that sense. You remember that? So basically, what is happening here is we see a picture of Yeshua in the Atid Lavo. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth, and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. Now, who can tell me where that is directly spoken of? Where it says here, he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, with the breath of his lips. Anybody tell me where that's directly spoken of in the New Testament? Anybody remember? See if we can get a comment down. That's right, Revelation. Let's take a look at that in Revelation. Let's bring this down. I'll bring this whole thing down. There we go. All right, so there it is. Revelation chapter 2:27. Let's take a look at that. All right, let's start here. But that which you have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcomes and keeps my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Notice that. This is where we get the idea that those who are in Yeshua will actually have authority given to them. Remember if you remember the teaching of the parable where one was given two, or was it one, and then one was given two, and the other was given five. Well, the guy with five, he doubled it. He doubled his master's money. The guy with two, he made it into five. The guy with one, he went and hid that thing in the ground. And he said, and then when the master came back and said, hey, I want you to give an account for my money, the guy that was given five, he said, see, master, I've been busy about your business. I've been using your money. I've been using your gifts. I've been using the abilities you've given me. And look at this. I've gained for you five more. I've gained for you five more. Okay, and remember that the two that the guy had, he says, turns to the other one that he gave two to, and he says, see, master, do you know that the guy that had two even did more because he got more than 100% return? Because 2 and 2 is 4, but this guy had 5. He says, look, master, I have 5. And the master said to him, hey, well done, good and faithful servant. And then there was the one who was given the 1 coin, and he hid it in the ground. And basically he says, look, I was afraid because you were a hard man. And, you reap where you do not sow, and so on. And, hey, he just gave him a flim-flammy excuse. And Yeshua said, yeah, I am a hard man, and don't you forget it. And basically he condemned that man. But the guy who made 10 out of the 5 he was given, he says, you go take charge of 10 cities. The other guy who now has 5, he says, and you go take charge of 5 cities. And this one who hid the one on the ground, he says, you worthless servant. And he said, just cast him out. And he was cast out into outer darkness. Well, this is a picture of this here. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. It's potentially possible that we will be given authority in the earth, in the Atid Labo, in the final end, the 1,000-year reign of Messiah. And notice how it says here, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. What is that? Very curious. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. Very interesting there, all of that. So let's go back here. It says, he shall smite the earth, Isaiah 11. Now, notice that by the mouth of every 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. Okay, so he shall smite the earth. Who is this talking about, this he here? Clearly, it's Yeshua, Messiah. He shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked, and righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins. Remember that picture of the horse in Revelation? We're getting close to our time here, so I'm just going to go a little bit here. But remember the horse, it says on his girdle was righteousness. There were things written about righteousness. Let's double check that. And faithfulness, the girdle of his reins. Okay, so this is very interesting to look at here. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness, the girdle of his reins. Let's take a look at that. Does anybody remember where that's at? Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. It's on his, is it his, it's in Revelation. I know that where it says.
Revelation 19, I believe, brother, is what you're looking for.
Revelation 19. Okay, thank you, brother. Let's take a look at that. Let me get this out of here. This is, okay, all right, let's take a look at that. Revelation 19. All right, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. This is clearly Yeshua. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of Yahweh. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and the wrath of Almighty Yahweh. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Think about that. Well, here is another clue here, and it says, in righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reign. Now, look at the shift here. In Isaiah 11, we see that there will be an era of peace on the earth. Even the animal kingdom will be healed. And so let me double check our comments here as we're going along here. It says, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together. The lion shall eat straw with the ox. These are natural enemies. Today, you would never see a calf and a lion lie down. You would see a lion attack the calf to eat it. You would see a lion attack the straw, or attack the ox, rather. You would see a lion eat meat. But this says that in the day when Yeshua comes, and peace will be so overflowing in the earth that even the animal kingdom will be restored to its original Edenic state, which is, can you believe it, vegetarian. Now, some people have said, how can this be? I mean, you know, they look at it from an evolutionary standpoint, and they say, well, lions have big fangs. Lions have fangs. And so they are definitely made to eat meat. So this is just poppycock. This is just, but guess what? Do you know that there's animals in the world that have fangs and are strict vegetarians? Look up the panda. Look up the panda. There are animals in the world that have fangs, and yet they're still vegetarians. Very interesting. So notice this, and the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand in the cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. Even the worst serpent, the worst, most venomous snake that you can imagine, a little baby will be playing by it, and it will not hurt. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh. Do we say that the earth is full of the knowledge of Yahweh right now? Absolutely not. Right now, the Bible says the little g, God of this world, has control of the minds of men and also of nature. Nature is in a fallen state. You have prey and you have predator. Notice this, prey and predator. And so when Yeshua comes, the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh as the waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root for Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. There he is, resting in his kingdom on his throne. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of the people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, and from Elam, from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and shall gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Now, is it possible that, as some have said, the second Exodus? So I'm posing this question to you. Based upon this, will the second Exodus happen after Yeshua returns, or will it begin before? Think about that. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and shall gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not vex Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Well, there's an entire teaching there. I've only got a few minutes left, so I can't go into all of that, but there's a lot I could discourse on. And it goes on, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them to the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. That could be a Red Sea crossing of sorts, maybe, possibly. And his mighty wind shall shake his hand to the river, shall smite it into 7 streams. Notice this. And shall make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway from the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that it came up out of Egypt. So, my friends, this is a picture of the second Exodus here. I love this chapter because it gives us so many clues as to how things will be in not only the times leading up to the rule and reign of Yeshua Messiah, but the Atid Lavo, which is the 1,000-year reign of Messiah, the animal kingdom, will be in complete peace. Those which are predator will no longer be predator. Those which are prey will no longer be prey. Notice in other places it says there will no more be war. Men shall no longer learn war anymore. It says they shall beat their swords into, who knows the answer? Plowshares. Plowshares, right? They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and no longer shall they learn war anymore. Who was the one who began war? Does anybody know that answer? Who began war according to the book of Enoch? Who taught mankind war?
Who taught war?
Say again?
Did you say who taught war?
Yeah, who taught mankind war? Now listen to the question. According to the book of Enoch, first Enoch. Now,
The answer to that is Watchers, but in the Bible, Nimrod.
Yes, and most notably Azazel. It says Azazel taught mankind war. And he was given a great judgment for that, a great judgment from Yahweh, because he taught mankind war. He taught them how to make war instruments, how to make, and there was one of the watchers who fell, also that taught them metallurgy and so on. Well, guess what? When Yeshua returns, all that will be done with. All that will be done with. And it will be peace on earth. Peace on earth. Oh, what a blessed time. I look forward to that. I hope that you guys do. Hashem Yeshua.
Is there a place to raise your hand?
Go ahead, Melissa. Go ahead.
Well, there's groups that live with that peace now. They think it's now. And they've turned their spears into plowshares now. You know, there's non-resistant people. There's people that take vows to not participate in military and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, like the Amish and the Mennonites are that way. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
But notice that they are still touched by war. They are still killed. They are still killed by the sword. All throughout history, the Mennonites and Amish have been touched by war. But what this is talking about is the entire earth will be kept in peace. That all men, not just the Mennonites or the Amish, all men will beat their...
Well, the tares will have to be gone. Yeah, the tares will have to be gone. But are you sure it's not saying that all the men in the... Is it saying the field? Because the field is the world. Or is it talking about in the body? You're talking, it's all in the entire universe, because I would love to see that verse. Where the whole world, that's good stuff. I want to see where the whole world is going to be beating their, spears into plowshares.
It literally says no man shall teach war again.
Where's that?
No man to teach war in the prophecy there. Where it talks about no man shall learn war. So the curse that Azazel visited upon this planet, this world, will be reversed. It will be dealt with. All right, Baruch Hashem. Sean put this there, spoken of in Matthew, peacemakers, meek, those are the pictures of the Ruach moving his children while here on the earth. Okay, thank you for that. Very good. And the animal kingdom, that's very interesting. And, you know, all of the damage that the nations are doing even now to the environment and will continue to do until Yeshua returns to stop all of this. You know, it says that that the waters will be purified again. This is in Zechariah chapter 14. The waters shall be purified again. And so that's very interesting. Brother Giacomo, go ahead.
Yeah, wrong emoji. It's a clapping emoji, goodness sakes. I wanted to mention that we've been studying off and on about Leviathan, and for many years, I always thought for sure that Leviathan referred to an actual sea creature, but apparently Leviathan is a spirit in one of the adversary's chief generals, if you will, and he is the one that drove Pharaoh to put harsh avodah upon Israel when they were in captivity in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I see, Egypt, I always think Leviathan, great spirit, whether it's deception or just a great power to make slaves out of men once again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, interesting. Leviathan. I have my theories on Leviathan. I've been doing a series on the Bitter Waters Code and all of that's implied there, but those are on videos for people to look at. So let's do this. So that we finish the service here, I'm going to open the screen now to see here. We'll get past this here. And let's take a look at the calendar, guys. Okay, and just see what we have upcoming here. Get this out of the way. Okay, so basically this is where we are to now in the yellow. We're going to have early Christian history, and that is at a different website, a different link. It's going to be theyahad.com. Looks like we do have Apostle Holsapple. This is his healing thing. There's the room information. There's the passcode. That's on Friday. We have 11 a.m. Shabbat study. There really should be the room information on here. We need to get the whoever's doing this to update that room information, make sure all of that's there for people that are outside the Ahad to access. Come and dine, 2 p.m. This is good. A lot of different information here. 2 p.m. on Shabbat. Then we have the Mysteries of Barnabas. This is going to be Brother Bryant's class, and it is very interesting. I've been in there. I really hope we see more participation in this class because Brother Bryant is an excellent teacher, and he brings a lot to the table. So please consider coming to this 7 p.m. Sunday, the Mysteries of Barnabas Revealed, and it's the Epistle of Barnabas. Okay, and then also we've got Brother Sean is doing open discussion, and he has a lot of different topics. Thank you for posting the room information there, Brother Sean. That's on Monday. And come full circle now, early Christian history. Brother Snyder is going to be doing that. So that is our calendar. Okay, and so there's going to be a prayer meeting afterwards, so please make note of that. And I will finish with the Aaronic benediction, and then we will turn the recording off, and we can have open discussion if you all like. Okay, so the Aaronic benediction is taken from the book of Numbers, and so may you all be blessed in this. Yivarekaka Yahweh, Vayishmareka, Yaher Yahweh, Banaveleka, Vikuneka, Yisa Yahweh, Banaveleka, V'yasem leka shalom. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. Yahweh lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. B'Shem Yahushua HaMoshiach Sar Shalom.
The service is finito.
Okay, guys, we have plenty of contact information here for you guys. Please make note of that. We thank you so much for being a part of our recorded service. Hopefully next week we'll get the kinks worked out in the tech area. And because I'm really looking forward to this America's Foundations series, Brother James. But you know what? Yahweh was with us tonight. He gave us many things to talk about. And you got to roll with the punches. We got to go where the wind, the Ruach HaKodesh is leading us. So if you have any way that you would like to reach out, hey, there it is, shul@hmisrael.com. You can reach out to me, reach out to Brother Snyder, veroyahad@gmail.com. And also notice we've got HM Israel. That's our Greenwood Yahad website. And this has been brought to you by New Earth Restoration and Hebrew Messianic Israel. We are fellowships in Yahad, meaning we are working toward the same goal in Messiah. And so we hope that all of you are doing that as well, working toward that goal. So with that, I will say shalom, shalom, and end the recording.